Welcome, brave listeners, to the shadowy plains of the unexplained, where reality bends, the inexplicable takes form. You've now entered the chilling realm of Skinwalker Ranch, over 500 acres in Utah's Uinta Basin. This land whispers tales of the paranormal, of creatures that shift and morph, of eerie lights that defy logic, and portals to unknown dimensions. Many have sought answers here, only to find more questions. But together, we'll step beyond the veil of the familiar and into the eerie heart of Skinwalker Ranch. Prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown, because once the sun sets, nothing is as it seems. The following program is intended for mature audiences. It contains explicit content including but not limited to violence, language, and thematic elements that may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. What's going on, guys? Welcome here with us. We have a great episode in store for you today. If you're not already, please like and subscribe or leave a review on any of the podcasting platforms. And stick around to the end to find out some great tips and tricks for equipment for ghost hunting. All right, guys, so I'm here with Austin and Teddy, the SQS brothers. So today we are going to be discussing Skinwalker Ranch. You guys, thanks again for hopping on the show, as always. I want to start, man. So what do you guys know about skinwalkers in general and Skinwalker Ranch?
I know it's like a really bad place to go and drive around, and like all the sightings that they see. You know, they have UFO sightings, Bigfoot sightings, the Skinwalker
Bigfoot's
sightings
out there too.
Yeah, dude, that guy's everywhere,
Dude.
man. He's walking down like Hollywood Boulevard.
Bigfoot's out there, and everybody's dad who left when they were kids out there too, dude. That place has got everything under the sun.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
like,
it's
I mean, they say like there's a lot of portals and shit out there, and like the geometry and like the way shit's fucking aligned. Like,
right. So I've seen some conflicting stuff too, because apparently like the owners, like the original owners didn't see very much, and then the second owner saw like a whole lot. Let me look at my show notes real quick, but the original name isn't even Skinwalker Ranch. I think it's like named after the second people that owned it. But
like,
Sherman, it's
like
the Sherman Ranch.
The Sherman.
Yeah, the Sherman Ranch.
I mean, when it comes to skinwalkers,
name.
they don't disguise as people. It's just like animals. Like they can disguise as different animals.
Yeah, I mean, but even with that, there's different information.
Because I've heard through the things where I've
give.
heard like skinwalkers also can disguise people almost like.
Yeah.
Let's and you guys can jump in here too with me, but like to kind of describe skinwalkers maybe to people that aren't super familiar with them, but they are it's Navajo, right? Navajo folklore.
Yeah.
They're like
Navajo
shamans or kind of like dark wizards. I guess they made a deal kind of with some kind of demonic presence, whatever the demonic presence in the Navajo culture is. And they are said to kind of walk between this realm and another, and they're kind of seen as almost like a coyote or a wolf with like red eyes. But I know that they have the ability to kind of take any form. And I know the people out near the ranch, which is in Utah, like they won't even talk about it when you go to talk to them. Like like a lot of the natives there, like they're like super sketched out by it.
Yeah, well, for them it's like superstitious. So if they talk about it, then it kind of invites that type of folklore and entity to try to go after them. That's why a lot of them they feel uncomfortable talking about it. Like when you do try to talk to anybody that's Navajo, then they'll kind of shy away from that topic.
Right.
If you talk to someone that's like a shaman or a medicine man, they'll be more open to it because they deal with that type of stuff,
Right.
Like it's part of their job title. So like they're the ones that'll be more open to talk and have a conversation about stuff like that.
Right. So I saw I just started watching the show Skinwalker Ranch too to like get more into it, because I've seen like different things out there, and I actually just got the book Skinwalkers at the Pentagon. But the like main scientist, the guy they brought in, can't remember his name right now, but the guy they brought in, I saw an interview with him yesterday where he was talking about, they call it hitchhikers now, where something bad, like you were talking about, Teddy, with the Hill House, they were saying like when stuff happens, like that stuff follows them home, and they start to see like weird shit at home. So like they have another term for like what's ever going on there, because but like you were saying, Austin, like there's UFO sightings out there. There's a lot of like, even for people that don't believe in the skinwalkers or the UFOs, there's a lot of crazy anomalies out there that people just like cannot explain.
Yeah, and like we were talking briefly before, like I think it's kind of wild. Like the guy who owns it now, like almost believes it as like a religious battleground. Like
Yeah, I think his name's Brandon Fogel. Yeah,
yeah,
he's like a
yeah, that's him. Yeah, he's like a billionaire too.
freaking billionaires, dude.
Billionaires buying up all the haunted places, just leave them for
Buying
us.
up the haunted places, trying to go to the Titanic, bro. Like, can't leave nothing out here for us normal folk, man. I'm over here trying to.
Well, doesn't Bigelow own Skinwalker Ranch?
He did. Up in I think till like 2012. I think that's when Brandon Fogel bought it from him. But he owned it from I think like 94 to like 2012. Give me a sec. I have some notes on it too.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I seen there's like a spot too, like in one of the main houses they have that like the people that live there, they actually like they're like caretakers of the ranch. They said like a portal opened up inside their living room.
Dude, that one guy that's like a caretaker of the ranch, dude, always wearing the cowboy hat on the show.
Yeah,
dude, he like had some like freaking fluid or something build up in the back of his skull twice, like some crazy stuff that they can't explain based off that. And he's like, same thing. He's like, it's just a portal. I remember
they get none of that tested.
They tested it. They just couldn't find out why it was happening. Like it was just extreme, like fluid, like separating his like skin from the back of his skull.
Wow.
It's crazy. And I don't know if you've seen the show or not, but like this first or second episode, the new dude's like, I want to dig. And they're like, we don't dig here. And they go dig, and then it happens to the dude again. And I'm like, oh shit, man. But yeah, the cool thing about the Bigelow side of it is while he owned it, he was actually under a government contract for it was ALSAP. I couldn't even like say right now. I can't remember the whole acronym. It's like advanced.
Didn't you do some research
threat.
on that, Teddy, a little bit, or
did I what?
Do some research on the ALSAP thing?
Oh yeah, that was like a year ago.
I know, dude. Like, there's so much of this stuff I've looked into, and then like I forget, and then I go back when I want to actually do the episode on it. So I try to actually sound intelligent.
There's a lot of like government programs that are like into like supernatural shit. People just they don't see it or they don't think about it. Like,
yeah, they don't even talk.
But it's
about
happening.
It.
Like it's happening, man. Like
only if a whistleblower comes out.
So it says ALSAP. ALSAP, or the Advanced Aerospace Weapons Systems Application Program from the Pentagon, was a Pentagon program funded by the U.S. government to study unidentified flying objects. The program was initiated in 2007 and ran until 2012. But that's like when Kellen, the guys that wrote the whole book, Hunt for Skinwalkers, that's why they were out there.
Skinwalker Ranch book, yeah.
And the government was trying to dig, looking for, they said it was oil or gold or resources. And every time they did, like weird shit would happen. And even the U.S. government's like, yeah, dude, we want to get out of here. And that's when the Brandon Fogel dude was able to pick it up for, I guess, on the cheap. Just a cool, $2.5 million or something. No.
Right.
Well, and I know the legend behind the whole ranch is that the Utes and the Navajo like were battling one another or like fighting one another, and the Utes had been enslaved by the Navajo, and then they broke out and fought a bunch of them and took the land from the Navajo, and then they cursed the land, and that's where they say the whole Skinwalker piece comes in.
Dude, like when it's like Native American history is wild, bro. Like there's like so much stuff. Like a lot of places that are like haunted have like a Native American background. And
dude, you're not kidding, dude. Like I lived in southern Arizona, in Yuma, man, and there was this like territorial prison that was, it was used for like outlaws and all kinds of stuff. They did some atrocious stuff to Native Americans there, and man, that place has always like had a weird like energy about it every time I go there. Just uneasy kind of feeling about
you talking about the one that's in Gilbert, Arizona?
No, it's in Yuma. It's like right on the border of Mexico and California, like down in the armpit, man. It's like awesome place, but it's hot as hell and in the middle of nowhere.
Have you ever went to like the Indian Mountains here, like in Houston Woods or anything?
I've been to the Indian Mountains at Houston Woods, but I haven't been to the Serpents Mounds. Like I've always wanted to go to the Serpent Mountain in Ohio, man.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that place out too.
Dude, I remember in high school one time, man, I went out there to the Indian Mountains and like there was some weird shit, like disembodied
Dude, it's a weird
voices and
vibe.
like
Like they say you're
languages you
not
can't
supposed to like
understand. And
yeah. Like they say you're not supposed to walk over them, and I remember like one time I walked over one and it's just like a weird feeling, dude, like the whole time. Like it was out
you're
there.
not supposed, dude. Somebody like as a kid, like some adult took us to me and some other like I forget what I was there for. That we went to like the top of it. They're like, let's see what we can see. Dancing
I
on
don't know.
Native American graves, man. Damn, I'm cursed.
That's horrible.
I mean, down
So
there in El
you got
Paso too is a lot of Native American history.
oh for sure,
Yeah,
dude.
we have a lot, like in the Franklin Mountains, and then like out by like San Eli and Clint and San Elizario, like going all the way out there to like Fort Hancock. We have a lot. Like there's a lot of stuff out there.
Didn't you think you
So
saw a skinwalker one time?
Dude, I don't even know what that thing was, to be honest with you. It was weird. Like it was, I don't know. Like at first, and this was in New Mexico, and New Mexico has a lot of sightings of supposed skinwalkers, like all over the state. And when you're traveling through New Mexico, like each city or each town, like they're a good distance away from each other, so it's just open road. And
right.
a lot of it's like back roads too. There's a lot of quicker ways to get to certain areas in New Mexico, and I would travel those roads for work because it's faster for me to get there. And there's all you got is like the moonlight. That's it. Especially like when you're driving at night. And this one time, I don't know, man. Like it was weird. Like to me. Have you ever seen that movie? I'm probably thinking of. I'm thinking of Gremlins right now, but it's not Gremlins. It's like an old 80s movie. It's like at a carnival, and there's like these creatures that are like just
What?
killing people. I forgot the name of it. I used
I
to
think
love
I
that
like know
movie.
what you're talking about. I mean, I can't think of what the name of it is.
But it kind of looked like one of those creatures that was hunched over, and like its neck was. It didn't even have a neck. Like its head was just like on some shoulders,
Yeah,
and it was like brownish reddish
Mothman.
color. Kind of looked like the back fur was maybe kind of like porcupine-ish a little, but not really.
Yeah.
And then it was weird because I took a turn. I think I forgot what highway I was on, but then I turned off to a side road, and maybe about half a mile into that's when I saw it. It was already dark at that time, and it was just like the side light from the headlight is what caught it. It was right. It was sitting right in the middle of the road on the oncoming
Oh,
traffic
dude.
side, and I was like, "What the heck?" And then as I was going by it, I just saw its head turn like towards my direction because all I saw was its back when I was driving towards it. And then when I was passing by it, that's when I kind of saw it start moving and looking towards me. And then I passed it. And then when I looked in the side mirror, it was standing up like full, like a.
Damn.
Damn.
I was like, what the hell was that? And I just kept going. And I was like, no, thank you.
Dude, so a couple episodes ago I was talking about UFOs, man. And when I lived out like, in the desert, and El Paso is pretty desert, right? I've been through there like one
Yeah.
time, but dude, there's just weird stuff out there. You see weird lights. Like I said, like I can never say that I saw a UFO, but I've seen some super weird
Weird lights,
light
for sure.
anomalies and stuff, man, and lights just shooting up out of nowhere. It's just crazy, and it's like you see stuff like that, dude. So I was driving through New Mexico. I was coming south, like to go to Arizona, man, and my wife and kids were asleep in the car, and I was seeing some weird shit on the side of the road. I saw something that I thought looked like a person, and then a couple miles later, it looked like some kind of creature crawling on its legs. I mean, which it could have been a coyote,
Oh,
but dude,
yeah,
it looked
man.
super, like you said, like it looked all like aggressive and like hunched up, and I like woke her up. I was like, "You got to drive." Like, I think I'm freaking hallucinating, dude. Like, I thought I saw some fucking guy standing on the side of the road. Like, and it was weird because
Yeah.
it's like I can't like exactly. It was kind of just a figure, but it almost did, look like something kind of like Native American or something, man. And it was just
Yeah.
it was like in a stretch of road where it's like get gas now because there's like no gas for 200 miles or whatever the hell the distance
Bro,
was.
that's what's wild about driving out in the desert. Like when you're going cross country, man. Like you better get gas. You
Dude,
miss an
Oh
better.
exit,
hell
bro.
yeah, dude.
You
You
miss an
better get
exit,
gas,
like
dude.
you're gonna be stuck.
Dude, one time we were driving to Mexico for vacation, and then we were cutting through Arizona. We had to cut down through, I forgot where it was. It's like a Native American reservation that the majority of the trip through Arizona, we were on that land, and it's a one road, um, like it's just like one lane on each side,
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
and it's like just winding. It's freaking crazy, and
So,
you're probably on there for like 4 to 5 hours, you
yeah.
know. And we were driving through there at night, going to Puerto Peñasco in Mexico, and it's all just like desert. It's cactus and like all whatever type of stuff's out there. And this thing kind of just like hopped out of the brush in the road, and then it just went back. And I was like, "What the hell was that?" It looked like the wolves from like how they made the werewolves look in Harry Potter,
Okay. Like
like
all
all
like
like
skinny and like
yeah, and
humpback.
lanky,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What?" Like it's weird because like the leg just came
It's
out, and then
fucking
like
Chupacabra.
Damn.
yeah, dude. Like it hopped out and then it saw me coming down the road and then it hopped back and I was like, "Holy crap! Did anybody see that?" And like everybody was asleep. I was like, Why am I the only one that sees all the weird shit?"
So where do you guys think skinwalkers kind of fall? Like I don't, are they technically a cryptid or are they something else? Like and where do you guys really feel about them and cryptids in general? Like
Well, I mean, for me, they fall under the category of a cryptid because no one knows, if it's like a legit thing.
right.
It's just like every cryptid, it's all just folklore.
But I thought that cryptids were supposed to be like creatures that people were trying to prove were real. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they are folklore, and that's where people get the thing to study them. But
Yeah.
like Sasquatch, besides Mothman, I guess too, because I mean, I guess, yeah, it would be a cryptid because
He's
he's a
fairly
cryptid, but
new. I
he's
mean,
like,
Mothman's fairly new, but like
yeah,
I
compared to some of
kind of
this
see
other
like
stuff.
where you're coming from is like this is like
Because they're like a
Indian, like Native
spirit, yeah,
American
it's like a
history. Like
spiritual being or something.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it's weird, and I guess for the sake of labeling it for language, you could call it a cryptid, but it's weird because it's the weird they've seen and the things that happen to people after they see him are kind of like just crazy, you know? Like,
hmm it's like a walking portal animal, weird type of shit. Like,
dude, yeah. And we were speaking of portals, man. What was it? We were talking about the new owner and the scientist they brought in for the show. That's like the main dude. He was saying something about they brought a priest there to open a portal, and this
A
portal like somebody,
priest.
yeah, they brought like some priest in to like do a portal at Homestead 2, which that's one of the two like land masses of little buildings from back in the day there. One's, I think Homestead 2 is like over 100 and something years old,
Uh-huh.
but he said they had brought a priest in to do a ritual, and they on FLIR, like the thermal cameras, they picked up a thermal vortex, and the priest came up to him afterwards and was like, "They told me they're going to come get you tonight." And he said in his he was asleep in his trailer, and he had a dream that like a Native American guy came up and like poked him on the cheek, and then
mhm.
he woke up, and then he went to the bathroom, and he was like bleeding from his face. He said it was almost like
What?
stigmata, man.
Yeah,
And he said they
that
were able to replicate it because they took a recording of the priest's like ritual,
Uh-huh.
and it happened again when they did it again. The thermal vortex opened back up. So
Dude, that sounds like some Evil Dead stuff to me.
right, man. Like what's that
Reading
book?
from the Necronomicon and
Yeah,
shit.
Necronomicon.
No, thank you.
Ash walks down there, dude, and he's Ash
y'all
walks
Dude,
down there a
seen
little
Evil?
drunk.
Hey, have y'all
if
seen
I
Evil
ever
Dead
found a
Rise
book
yet?
like that, oh hell yeah.
Have you seen it?
I love that movie.
Have
What
you
is
seen it,
it?
Cliff? Evil Dead Rise?
No, is it good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. It's good.
Yeah,
Gotta check it out.
I'll have to hit up my. Do you remember Nick Lambert? Did you know Nick
Yeah,
Lambert?
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, he's like a huge Evil Dead fan, man. But yeah,
Oh.
that is some Evil Dead shit, dude. Like
And that's like one, as I'm watching this show, I'm like, I don't know if I'd ever go investigate there, man. Like I know the Ghost Adventure guys did, and I think the worst thing that happened to them was some snakes, but like I'm like, I don't know if like that's somewhere I'd want to go, you know? Like, would you all go there if they let you on
I
there to
would.
investigate?
Yeah,
I would go.
Well, you see, Jack Osborne went out there. He did like a little
Man,
documentary out there.
he's Jack Osborne though, man.
They caught
Did you
some
see?
like
Did you see
something.
that thing? Like I never watched it, but like Sharon Osbourne was like shooting an episode for some ghost show or something, and it had like a medical emergency, and they had to like ship her out somewhere. And
Oh
What?
yeah.
I remember seeing it all over the news, and she's like, I don't want to mention what happened. And
But was that I think I don't think that was there. I think it was like at the Winchesters
yeah, it was
is
somewhere else. Like yeah.
when that happened. Yeah, they were really vague on that.
What do you guys think about like shadow people?
I think
Like,
they're really related with the Skinwalker thing too, because you know every description I've heard of them is almost like identical, and that's one thing I was thinking about too lately is they're almost like this kind of shadow spirit type thing, and I've seen a couple like shadow entities, like I did see one at Waverly, and they're a weird. It's a weird thing, man.
have
Like
you
a
like
real weird thing.
have you like I don't know, like, cause like you see shadow people. Have you ever seen like a shadow person as like when you're asleep or like you're falling or when you wake up and
Oh, like the sleep paralysis
the
demon.
sleep
Yeah.
paralysis demon? Like
Yeah.
I
I've
feel
had
like
one. I had one incident with that when I lived in Alaska, dude. That I brushed it off, but it
Dude, you
was
lived in
pretty weird, dude.
Alaska
Yeah, man,
and you never saw like crazy shit out there?
dude.
That's
There's
like
so
a
much
hot
shit out
spot.
there. Alaska's just weird in itself, man. It's like being on Mars. Like I couldn't even chalk up anything from Alaska, and I don't know. Like so, a lot of that stuff up there is like in Nome is where a lot like that's where like the fourth kind happened at, or the story of the
Yeah.
fourth kind. But I mean, I saw some weird lights there too, man. Not the ones everybody goes to see, you know, like the Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Northern Lights. I saw some weird stuff, man. But at the same time, every night jets were going to go intercept stuff. So I don't know what they were
see
doing.
like when I was in El Paso, I was driving down the highway one time and I seen some crazy green light, dude, just like go up and disappear. And I don't know what it was, but like when I looked, I was like, that shit don't even look normal, bro. Like I've seen airplanes, there's an airport nearby. Like I've seen like jets go off, but like this green light was just like like the way it levitated and went
Yeah,
up. It
I
was
seen that too.
Yeah.
I saw that too on that property that's behind the airport on Fort Bliss.
yeah.
That's where I saw it, and it was like maybe like 3-4 in the morning. We were coming back from a call, and we were like around the Montana area,
Yeah.
and I just saw like this. It was like a bright green orb, and it just like floated down real quick, real quick to the like hovered right around, like kind of right above the ground, and then it shot back up super quick. And then I was like, no way, man. And then I look over and the guy I was working with was asleep. I was like, come on, dude.
It's always
I
you
was
only
like,
see it
Jesus
by yourself.
Christ. Yeah.
Well, dude, and that's
That-
like
it sucks.
I told you guys about the haters on TikTok in the comments, like there's no
Yeah.
aliens, there's no cryptids, and it's just like, dude, like it takes you more freaking time and effort to not believe as it does to believe, because you're like, I feel like those people just have something in them to just disprove it, and it's like
Yeah.
they have just as much proof as we do, you know.
Yeah, like I mean,
And that's what makes it hard. Like Teddy, you seen it by yourself, and you're trying to explain it. They're not real, and it's like, dude, you saw it,
Dude,
man. Like,
I've seen so much. Like there was, we had an incident here in El Paso. I think it was like 2010, 2011, maybe. And it was out on the far east side. It was. Have you seen those UFO videos where like the lights just start popping up?
yeah,
Like it'll be like 4 or 5 lights that just pop up out of nowhere, and then they start kind of like rotating and stuff.
yeah,
and then
yeah,
and then they fall down, look like kind of like shooting stars, but like super slow.
yeah.
And then the military wants to call it military flares. And like I don't know how many, half the damn city saw it. Like it was in the news and everything.
Well, it's
And I was just like, dude, what? Like you can't explain that.
well, and people try to go like, oh, and that people grab like, oh, it's with when you talk about Skinwalker, you talk about Bob Lazar, you talk
Yeah.
about all these incidents. People will say stuff like, oh, it's government aircrafts and stuff, and it's like, dude, you have like Chris Mellon, who was a senior deputy director to Defense Intelligence, come out and he's like, yeah, no, we don't have any programs like that. That's not what that is. And you have guys coming out from Lockheed Martin Skunk Works coming out like, dude, I worked on every classified aircraft, and that's not one of them. And they're all in the same group of people that are going for disclosure and evidence. And there was a guy just recently that was working for the UAP task force, man, that came out and said that he worked for NGA, he worked for DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, and the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. And he said that he was read on, he became a member of the UAP task force, and he's saying that there's he's a whistleblower right now, it's like popping up, but he said that he was trying to work with there's other government agencies underneath him that he couldn't get the read on to go investigate. Like, he had a TSSCI, he wasn't read on for him, which, I mean, that's a whole another layer of complication of it. But you'd think that the congressional agency that was set up for this, they'd have access to any UFO information. And he said that there's like a program for going and retrieving crafts and retrieving bodies and all kinds of stuff, man.
I wouldn't doubt it, man.
Dude, like, I mean, dude, there's fucking wild shit that goes on in the government, bro. Like, wild shit. I mean, look at it's just like, they're not going to tell you because, like, they can't tell you. Like, if the people catch wind of what's going on, they're going to have a fucking fit. Like, it's going to be bad.
Well, man, like, I'm looking right now to look at who the George Knapp and Colum Kellner. They're two guys that worked during the Bigelow era at Skinwalker Ranch. And these are two scientists that were hired by the government. Like, if the government didn't believe this shit was here, why would they be spending taxpayer dollars on it? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, the government goes through its budget pretty strictly. And anytime I hear about one of these programs, man, like, it raises question. I mean, obviously I'm an engineer that works in intelligence, but I know how stringent the government is on its programs. And when I hear that one of these pop up and there's people that come out and they're kind of using the same language that we do in my community, it definitely like raises flags in me. But like, yeah, dude, I believe it. Like Bob Lazar, dude. When Bob Lazar, I saw his Rogan interview and I've seen some of the other stuff about him, man. And he, 1 second here. The way he talks sounds just like any other program well, not just scientists, but like, you know, some of the things talking about read-ons and security levels and the way things are compartmentalized. I'm like, dude, that sounds like a normal everyday thing in the intelligence community, you know? So it for sure raises some flags. And Skinwalker Ranch, right? Like they went there. The government was drilling and digging and all kinds. If they didn't think that there was some weird anomaly there, why would they be doing it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that UFO thing in Vegas?
Dude, so I just shared one today. What I think's crazy about that one, dude, is you saw it come down, like, and it's like a blue orb and it like crashes, and there's several different angles on it, and it makes like a fucking crazy crash noise, like it came in like it fucking Mach 1, dude.
Yeah.
And then the backyard one, I mean, okay, I'm not going to discredit it, but it's a little blurry and hard to tell. But that whole incident is like really close to Area 51 anyways. Like, it's like they landed in the back fucking yard.
Yeah, it was weird. But even the footage where it shows them walking into the backyard and then on the fence, the wooden fence that they had on the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that video, but you can see like fingers or something kind of reach out in between the wooden planks.
Right. Yeah.
And then on the other side they had, and that one's like really blurry. You can't really tell like the face or something. That's what they're talking about, of some type of like creature or something.
Maybe skinwalkers are aliens, bro. We just don't know it yet.
It might be. That goes back to like, dude, that's
you never know, dude. You never know.
You never know.
You look at drawings, you look at pictures, you look at shit like that. Like, maybe they're fucking.
Well, you look back at Egyptian culture and some of their deities, like on the walls, man. Like, there's reported activity that kind of aligns with that as well. And then look at what happens at Skinwalker Ranch, all the UAP activity, and then they're connected. Maybe it's not a Navajo spirit. That's just what they called it, when it showed up.
Yeah. What do you guys think about like MK Ultra and shit? Have you ever done any like research on MK Ultra?
Yeah, so I went down a rabbit hole with MK Ultra, like you're talking about, where the government was using methamphetamine to
Like
help people
that and
become
LSD
like
and
LSD and methamphetamine to give people psychic powers.
yeah.
So what's fucked up about it, right? Is that it doesn't really matter if people had the psychic powers or not. It's the fact that the government was feeding them these drugs, thinking it was going to happen. Once again, where
There you
there's
go,
smoke,
like-
there's fire, dude. Like
Like-
if they didn't think something was going to, why did they do it for 30, 40 years?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
why were they trying to do like the Manchurian Candidate, dude? Like
That's
it's fucking
There's just so much stuff, man.
like I can't even get damn free healthcare, man, and these fuckers are over here spending my money on giving people LSD to talk to Jim Morrison.
Hey man, he was on to something. Bro, did you see like every show like Jim Morrison did, dude? That dude was on LSD, like.
Oh yeah, dude, he's the Lizard King.
Hell
man.
yeah.
But too, he went out to the desert and saw weird shit. So I think that there's definitely something with the Southwest region that they're either coming back to visit in that whole Four Corners region, man, like, and even parts of Texas too. But I definitely think there's something there that's drawing them there if they're really coming,
Yeah.
And are you guys familiar with the Hellier situation in Kentucky back in the, well, not Hellier, but the Hopkinsville goblins and Hellier, the whole like little midget aliens?
Dude, I used to live in Hopkinsville.
So my grandpa's from Hopkinsville, and he lived there during the time of that. Are you familiar with that, Teddy?
No, I never. When I was there, I was like in
Bro,
elementary school.
Man, I had my freaking.
That's crazy.
I actually talked about it in another episode, but in Hopkinsville back in 1955, dude, this family, like right on the edge of town, had a craft come down, and they had like a freaking 6-hour gunfight with these little tiny
What?
men. They had these little tiny gray men. They said they were like child size, no facial features, and they fought them off. They got in a car and they like ran to town. They got the sheriff. They came back. They had obviously been shooting out there, but nobody knows what they were shooting at. And they said there was like a craft that came and landed in a gully like 300 meters from the house, and they it got like the state involved. It got the federal government involved. I think it was part of Project Blue Book as well, if I remember
Damn, it's
correctly.
like it's
What year was
Roswell.
this?
1955. Here, I'll look it up right now.
Damn, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
When was Roswell? Was what, 1947?
June 8th, or July 8th, 1947.
Dude, what's crazy is like a lot of like UFO sightings and shit. Like they all popped up around the same fucking time. Like,
Well, they think
Yeah.
another thing with Skinwalker Ranch, dude, it was downwind from nuclear testing. A lot of people believe that once we started fucking dropping nukes and bombs, there's like whole theories on what happens in an atomic explosion that like tears a hole or something, or causes a great frequency change that these things were attracted to, and that's when
Dude,
they really.
It might.
like
You
dude, the
never
way
know.
energy works, bro, like it's fucking. You never. Like, it's just energy is insane to think about.
Like,
what
what's
do you
that other, like the Large Hadron Collider? Like, I think that shit, like, we shouldn't even be messing with. 'Cause
I
think
think
it'll
we're only supposed
rip
to
a
mess
black
with so
hole.
much. We're only supposed to mess with so much, and then like, hey, leave the shit alone.
We're gonna end up like causing like something like the mist, and all these creatures are gonna be pouring out into our world and just mess shit up.
Yeah. I mean, what do you
Like
what do you
Montauk.
like black holes? Like, what do you like? What do you think about black holes? Like,
They're dark and they're black.
It happened in 1955.
1950.
The one
The
in
Sutton family
Hopkinsville.
Yep. It was the Sutton family. They were located between the hamlet of Kelly and the small town of Hopkinsville, both in Christian County, Kentucky.
Damn,
So
that's crazy. You know they got white holes too.
what? What the hell's a
Yeah.
white hole?
It's like a black hole, but instead, you know how a black hole sucks in
Bleached.
like
bleached
mass and like energy and stuff.
Yeah,
A white hole shoots it out.
and it's
so,
got a good
like-
credit score. Kidding. I'm kidding. I joke.
I didn't even know those. Like, I didn't even know that existed until like a couple days ago when I was reading about it. I was
Where
like,
they pick
"What?"
those up at? Where they seeing those?
They're like all over the universe. They're like black
Really?
holes. Like they said that typically where there's a black hole around where it's at, there's a white hole.
Okay.
So I was just like,
A
what?
yin and a
Dude? Like,
yang, dude.
yeah,
What are the freaking
that's crazy.
what are those freaking the Ozka, whatever the freaking aliens they believe that came down and like genetically altered primates to make us? Have you ever heard that
Are you
theory?
talking about like the Anunnaki?
Anunnaki, dude. Yeah.
He's saying talk about the
Yeah.
Anunnaki, bro.
I thought you were gonna say Oshkosh.
Oshkosh bagosh, dude. No.
Right. Yeah. What else? What was I about to say just now? What about Barney and Betty Hill? Have you done any research on their stories?
No, where
That's a
they
good
at?
one. That's a good one.
They were abducted by aliens. They were a husband and wife that was abducted. It's like one of like
Really?
the original like alien abduction.
Yeah,
But
that's like the first original abduction that was like reported in like the news and all that stuff.
I
When
think
was
they
that? That was
just
in the
got
50s too, no?
yeah, like they just got married, I think, or something, and they were coming back from I want to say New Jersey, and they seen some like alien craft touch down. And like, well, at first they just kept seeing this light like hovering around on the
Right.
drive, and then eventually like they stopped and pulled over, and this light got like so close and just like came down, and like that's when they got abducted, and they said that they were like probed and everything.
I just saw
Yeah.
something about another government program recently where they're going back to like talk to people that believe they were abducted and doing like some psychotherapy stuff with them, where they're trying to like get into the recess of their mind and find out exactly what it is and kind of get like a true and honest account of what these people are encountering.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like that's another part that I really haven't done much research in, just because there's a lot of negative kind of ideas or reception around it, and it's like, okay, well, I won't necessarily talk about in abductions, which I mean, I think they probably happen too. Obviously, they're coming here,
I
man,
mean,
right? Like,
but then again, like I think wild shit. I think like you have like physical abductions, and I think there's also
and
like
mental.
spiritual abductions that go on, like where you come out of your body and like
Well, that's like another
That's
thing
like
that ATIP was talking about. They were talking about how these things are coming here to examine our consciousness. That once again, the government put money into researching this stuff, but they think that they're trying to tap into what we are and like the everlastingness of our being, of our souls, or whatever you want to call it. So it's like I could buy that for $1, man. Like,
yeah.
they're definitely your mind. So and that's what most people say is like it happens when they're sleeping and they woke up in their bed and they don't remember what happened,
Mhm.
and maybe that is what they're doing. Maybe they're hijacking the energy that you're because I mean, like that's that's the whole idea behind meditation is the separation of the physical and mental self, and being
Yeah.
more aware and get into consciousness. So
Everything's
Yeah.
energy, and like I don't need like I even think like sometimes like is it possible to like manifest an energy or like manifest a being? Like you think that's possible?
yeah, I mean, I
If you
think
like
it's
you think about something so much, like people think about the boogeyman so much that so many people at one time think about that same thing, like the energy is just boom.
yeah, I 100% believe that, man. It's the same thing behind people going like, "You got to manifest your destiny, bro."
Yeah.
TikTok, like,
Exactly.
okay, hey, if I can manifest my destiny, I can manifest any fucking other thing, and
Law of attraction.
yeah. What kills me about like UFOs, the Skinwalker Ranch thing, all the people, like I said, it takes just as much energy to try to like disprove it as it does to believe in it.
Exactly.
And it's like science isn't necessarily, if we live in a world where we can pick what we want to be and
Mhm.
all this other shit we have going on, like why is it out of the realm of possibility that science can't prove everything? Because if
Exactly.
science is saying that
Yeah.
there's this and that, and everybody's like, oh, there's not. So why are we even arguing about it? Because most people that argue on it, like I'm not intelligent. I'm not the most intelligent person on it. I know what I've researched. I form an opinion and I go from there. But these people are like, oh, that's pseudoscience or that's fake. It's like, how do you know, man? You got a
Yeah.
fucking degree in aerospace technology?
Yeah.
I try to keep an open mind about everything, man. Like you can't say something. I mean, I don't know. Like anything's possible, bro. Like look at the universe. Look at us. Look how we're here.
Yeah.
Like anything's possible.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's like another thing. Like what I really love about these things that are coming out now and the science behind them is you look at Mothman. There's the cryptid aspect, the UFO with the Woodrow Dernberger and the injured cold situation. You look at what's going on at Skinwalker Ranch with the Native American history part of it, with the Skinwalker piece. There's the UFO anomalies, the lights illuminating the entire mesa, weird magnetic jamming, GPS jamming,
Mhm.
physical like hurts from like basically radiation burns, and paranormal like ghosts and demons or whatever else they're saying is out there too. It's like all these things. It comes down to energy. It comes down to how
It's
they're
all connected.
connected. Like
Yeah,
what is
it's all
connecting it, man? Like I'm more worried about what's connecting it than if fucking
Yeah.
Lizzie Borden's there, you know?
It's all connecting, man. Like somehow it connects, and it's
And ATIP, like another one of their big things is kind of how they don't believe they're aliens, like extraterrestrial. They believe that they're some kind of interdimensional space-time travel creatures that are living here as well, just traveling through whatever the hell. Like once again, I'm not the most intelligent person. I'm just trying to
rationalize like what
rationalize what was said, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it sounds crazy, but okay, you know, that this is their justification for it because of the vehicles and the way they move. And once again, like are they what's causing maybe a lot of our paranormal activity and experience is caused by them? Maybe they're doing it to see how we react, because they also said that they try to use fear and other tactics through the whole being abducted piece, and maybe they're using that as a way to interact with us and really find out what takes. Yeah, they're here with us. No, but it's really wild, man. And like you look at the Woodrow Dernberger incident with Mothman, and he's like, yeah, he was suggesting, he was pointing, like that shit creeps me out alone. Just that interview with him, he's like, he suggested he was pointing, and he never said anything, and he was smiling, and he said that. I'm like, dude, it's just freaking weird to
Bro,
think.
Mothman is Jeepers Creepers, bro. I feel like Jeepers Creepers takes like inspiration from Mothman.
It probably does, but
I wouldn't doubt it. But Mothman has a link to Native American folklore too, doesn't it?
it does with Chief Cornstalk, bro.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really talk about it in my episode with it because I know a lot of the Native Americans that are from that area kind of think it's disrespectful that people believe the curse is real. Because I mean, he was murdered. Him and his son were murdered. So,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, and before Mothman, there was another winged red-eyed creature that they thought was like the Thunderbird, the same one that's like seen out in the Southwest region now, like the big crazy shadow bird, as well. So it's weird. And when there is that piece or that layer of Native American history to it, because of the way they were in tune with the land and their culture, like that gives it some weight to me. Like I'm like, okay, there's some ancient like paranormal activity connected to it. It's not just some person out there with a night vision camcorder looking for it. Like there's like some legit kind of mouth of what do you call it? Mouth to ear translation or transliteration of what's happened, for sure. Like I was telling Austin, man, like I've been binge watching Skinwalker Ranch just to kind of get into it more, because before I started this whole podcast with the other partners I had before, like I was really just a ghost guy. Like I was just into ghosts and kind of the demonology part of it. But when I found out about
opens up a door,
cryptids,
bro. Like it's just.
Well, yeah, when you bring in cryptids and the skinwalkers, Mothman, whoever, when you bring that shit in, like it's hard to ignore it because most people think of like Loch Ness and Bigfoot. Okay, those are two cryptids, but they don't really have much else going with them besides that. But like when all these other cryptids have some weird freaking alien ghost, like, dude, I had a guy the other day comment, and he was like, "You're talking about Mothman, it was an owl and everybody was on meth." He's like, "You should do a real cryptid." Yeah, he was like, "You should do a real cryptid like the South Carolina lizard man. That thing fucked up my grandma's Cadillac."
Jizzy devil.
What?
I was like, bro, I'm not gonna say the lizard man's not real or whatever the heck you're talking about.
Dude, there's like lizard man, dog man, like snake man.
I'm gonna have to do some research on the Jersey Devil, man. That's another one that I'm not.
Oh, that dude,
100%. kind
that
of
was a good one too.
familiar with too. Besides
There was
Mothman,
there were
oh, I
some
was gonna
people
say,
that actually went out there not too long ago to do
really,
their own documentary on it. Yeah.
dude. Yeah, you guys are gonna have to come hit up Florida, man. Some spots here in Florida, dude.
Oh, what is Florida has what, the skunk ape?
Skunk
I
Ape.
think.
Yeah, I think he's down closer to the Everglades.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna go look for him, dude. But I'll talk about him.
Oh, you'll smell him if he's around you.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
Well, shit. Let's see, if there's a skunk ape in the Everglades, that's the last thing I'm worried about. It's all them damn snakes and alligators, dude.
Dude, oh my god, yeah, it's
Man.
crazy.
But we
Screw
have
that.
St. Augustine down here. There's another place like Hamilton County Jail. I'm gonna go check out here soon.
Yeah,
There's a ton of stuff here in Tampa. Dude,
you
the
know where
Cuban
I want to
Club.
hit up. I want to check out New Orleans, bro.
Dude.
New
Yeah,
Orleans.
that's like 8 hours from me, I think, or 10 hours from me.
Yeah, there's a
That's
lot of
not bad.
wild history with New Orleans. A lot of wild history.
Yeah, dude, you're up
Dude,
there.
even just the cemeteries, man. Like people catch a lot of
Oh
stuff
yeah,
there
dude.
too.
Yeah.
So
I want to go to what's that shop? There's a shop that's owned by like some voodoo woman, man. That like apparently you go to, and a lot of paranormal stuff happens. It's real famous down there in the what do you call it? The French Quarter. I'd
yeah,
love to go check out.
run into some vampires.
Are
Freaking Brad
vampires
Pitt
a
comes
cryptid?
out.
Are vampires a cryptid? Or are
I
they
think they're
just fake?
technically a cryptid.
Yeah, they're
Dude,
considered
so
cryptids.
yeah, they're considered cryptid, but once again, that's like a whole nother thing. I started trying to do an episode on that like last year, and there's a lot of weird stuff that goes. I mean, obviously, really kind of goes back to Romania and Vlad the Impaler and all that kind of stuff. There's people that really don't believe that Vlad Dracula was a vampire, which I'm not saying he's or isn't. I'm not getting into that discussion with people on the internet, but the whole history of why people believed in vampires in Transylvania, Romania is kind of interesting too. Like because of the caves, these fucking
Dude,
people
like,
were living in these
did you
deep dark
see like
caves, and
did you see those bodies they unearthed where like they had like silver fucking barrier things across their necks and their ankles and shit? Have you seen
what?
that?
Oh yeah.
Where
Did we
at?
talk about that?
Yeah, we talked about it on one of our podcasts where like they
Yeah.
found bodies that were buried with like silver links across their neck and shit like that.
Dude,
And
what?
it's like, why would somebody bury somebody like that? Like, unless you're like,
I think I actually
Well,
have
they
heard
did like a
something
lot
about
of
that.
weird stuff back then, man. Like they did, some of them were like tied down by their toes, and
yeah,
what they had like another device that if they kind of like if they wanted to rise up
got
from
up.
the grave, it would decapitate them straight off.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
metal collar. Yeah,
Yeah, like
that's
there was
like
a
that's
bunch
like
of weird shit.
Eastern European stuff, man. And like
Yeah,
a lot of that, especially in the Midwest in the U.S., man. And I know in Texas too, there's a large German population, but a lot of that stuff carried over from the old world when people came here, man. And
yeah.
it's fascinating. We're like, people just think that part of our history is gone, or it's hokey, or it's superstitious, and it's like they were doing it for something. Something was causing it. Like you
Yeah.
guys know where zombies like really started at, right?
Wasn't that like more like African descent type
Well,
or folklore?
West Indy, or like African, but it really comes from like the Caribbean, man, like
Yeah,
Jamaica, Haiti, people. It like so George Romano or whatever his name is, what's the guy that created like the Night of the Living Dead. He's the one that made the whole like what we think of zombies now, but that whole history goes back to West Indian culture where they believed that like medicine women or voodoo witches could like put spells on
yeah,
people, and they would like die, and then they would see there would be like somebody bury their husband or something, and the next day they'd see him like walking through town, like just
Yeah.
glossed over, walk into this person's house, or kind of be like their slave. So, and that's where that kind of starts from. But I mean, then you
Another
have the movie
rabbit
in the
hole to go down.
60s. Yeah. Yeah. And that's like, dude, what?
There's so many.
Skinwalker
There's so
Ranch
many
is
different
just
angles. Bro.
intriguing, man. It's like I'm on it. Like Teddy was talking about being obsessed with it. Like I'm obsessed with it right now, man.
dude, that's my wife, man. Like this is like especially right now because like all the shows that I watch are like on hiatus.
Yeah.
until like the new seasons or until this damn writer strike's over with. But
You guys
that's all I
seen-
watch.
You guys seen the new Ghost Adventures episodes?
Nah, I watch
Nah.
They've actually been good, dude. Like,
Dude,
I mean, Zach
have you
Bagans
seen-
is
I
Zach
I
Bagans,
watched
but
I watched their last season, bro, and like I watched some of the last season, and like the evidence they were bringing was like, bro, like, come
Are you
on.
talking about the ones where they're doing like the house calls?
Yeah, the house call.
Was that last season's?
I'm not
I
sure. The ones I've seen like lately have been kind of legit. Like they've been doing some freaking good
I'm
ones.
kind of like anti Zach now.
Yeah.
I mean, dude,
He's
the
done
fucking
too
velour-
many people dirty.
Dude, so
the
did
fucking
you
velour
watch
baseball cap kills me.
Did you watch the new Project Fear episode that just came out?
No,
I
I
haven't.
thought he canceled it.
No.
No,
Well,
so there's
he's on YouTube
Destination.
now.
Yeah, there's Destination Fear, and Zach Bagans kind of fucking knocked him off, so they started Project Fear on YouTube.
Yeah. So this one, dude, I want to go. I saw this episode like maybe like a day ago. They went to Sweet Springs Sanitarium in West Virginia,
Okay.
and they had went there, I think, in season 1 of Destination Fear, and they got crazy evidence.
Is
So
that is that Jack Osborne show?
No, it's what's that guy's name? I forgot his name.
Which
I think
one?
I've seen that episode
Yeah.
where no, they
The guy
went
from
to-
Destination Fear.
They went to Trans-Allegheny, the episode I'm thinking about. So it's different group, anyways. But
Yeah,
What do you mean?
I forgot
the-
his
the
name.
guy- Project,
What's the guy's name from
the
Destination
main
Fear?
guy and
Yeah,
the main guy? Oh,
yeah. I forgot his name.
I have it on the tip of my tongue.
I know like the other people, like their names, but I can't remember his name. But they went there in season 1 and they got ran out of that building by whatever spirits are there.
Yeah.
And they just went back on their first episode for Project Fear. And like they caught a spirit
Dakota.
on EVP laughing.
Dakota Lander.
Yeah.
okay,
They caught
yeah,
a spirit on EVP laughing at them.
Dude.
Like footsteps, like crazy stuff. I want to check this place out.
You said it's in
really bad.
Virginia,
In West Virginia.
dude. We should plan a trip and go hit that and Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum,
We should.
Yeah, I heard that one was good.
bro. How do you guys get a hold of some of these people? Because I'll be texting them and calling them and Facebook messaging and emailing, and dude, I can't get a hold of some of these people sometimes, man.
Yeah,
Like I'm
that's
getting ready
the
to
only thing that
publish a book
sucks.
about how to get a hold of these fuckers.
A lot of times, like
a
even with
ghost
us,
phone
like
book.
we'll email places, and sometimes like it's just a hit or miss. Like they'll either message back or we can't get a hold of
Because
somebody.
they'll message
or-
back like later, like forever, like after we've already messaged them.
And a lot of other places too. Like they're seasonal where you can investigate.
Yeah, that's how I
So-
think Waverly is too. Oh, we're still hitting that up, right? Again.
Oh yeah,
I'm
definitely.
down.
And-
Let's do it.
And when is it? It's September.
That's the goal. I mean, I'm gonna check on it here again. I'll check on it today and then see if that date is still available in September, and we should do it.
Dude, if
Yeah.
we can go in October, bro, that'd be my 1-year anniversary from that place, dude.
Dude, that would be.
Dude, that would be dope.
Like 1 year later, coming back and seeing if it's any better. Dude, we could do a
Especially-
live stream from
especially
there,
in
man.
October.
Yeah,
Do a
That would be
podcast
cool.
from there, dude. From the death tunnel.
that's
We'd be
always
all
fun,
like this.
bro. Like that's always
Everybody in
fun.
there
Dude. Setting
sideways
up at a
'cause it's going down
location
the
and like
hill.
just doing the podcast, like it's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely
Yeah.
want to get some more content like you guys have going. Like I have the kind of the same idea. Like I want to be the YouTube Ghost Adventures, man. You know,
Yeah.
that'll come with time. But for now, I'm just kind of making
It was funny because on the Destination Fair episode, they were talking about doing an S-Box session,
yeah.
and Dakota was like, "This is the first time we've ever, because never ever like in their history were they able to do any S-Box sessions."
Right.
And he makes a comment in the episode. He's like, we weren't able to do S-Box sessions because of the one guy that said we couldn't do it because he's the one that basically like essentially created it.
Right.
So I guess like
He was saying the guy that created the S box was saying they couldn't use it.
yeah, and he was referring
dude.
to Zach, like because he made it popular like in Ghost Adventures. So apparently
They got an app you can download on your phone, dog.
apparently they couldn't do it because like the producers of the
He was
show
the
said
executive
that-
producer, so like, yeah, what he says goes.
Yeah.
That's
So I was
whack,
just
dude.
like, what? But yeah, because like he was like, I don't even know how to work this thing because we've never done it before. So
Yeah.
they do the S-Box session, and that's when they caught some lady laughing.
What I think is weird, dude, is so they started out with an S box on that show, and now they're using the Polter Pod, which the whole thing looks fake as hell to me too, but it always says the right thing. Like it always gives them exactly what they ask for. I'm like, man,
See Teddy's S box.
That what?
Your
got an S-Box?
ginormous S box.
Dude, I got two big ass ones.
Where'd you get them
like
from?
like triple sized S boxes.
One I got from I think Ghost Shop, which is the wooden. Remember that wooden one that I have? The first one, dude. This
Yeah.
thing's huge, man. It's like fucking that big.
It's like the Spirit Blaster.
It's like the
boom
S box
box.
version 1.
It looks like some Ghostbuster shit. Like, that's some Ghostbusters shit.
Yeah, dude. And then the other one I just bought, I can't remember where I got it from. That one's more like high tech. It's like a speaker box, and
Yeah.
it has like all these.
That's the one that you ran at the Hill House, right?
No, so that's the one that I took to the Hill House, but they had their own. They had their own hooked up. So that's why I was like, that's what I was telling Carlos and Steph. I was like, dude, if I would have known that they would have had all this equipment here for us to use, I wouldn't even have brought half of the stuff that I took because they have it there.
Yeah.
Like we ended up using our own equipment because I didn't want to mess with theirs. But like if we go back, I would definitely just take camcorders because they have everything.
What do you guys find the best way to kind of capture? Like, what cameras do you guys use when you go in somewhere and audio recording equipment?
Oh, dude, damn. I mean, I have your basic voice recorders.
Yeah.
I have like several different brands of those. I have more like advanced ones. What's the one that has the dual mics on it?
Oh, this one right here, the Zoom H6.
Yeah, I have the
Austin
Zoom.
dropped out, man.
I got two or three of those. I have
Let me back out and see if he's trying to get back in.
like camcorder wise. I mean, we've used Panasonic camcorders. We've used Sony. We've used like ones you can pick up on Amazon. Lately, I've been using a bunch of GoPros. So
with the GoPros, do you have to like? You can't shoot night vision with those, can you? Gotta have light source with them.
Yeah. So with the GoPros, we have the light mod for them, and then I've also attached the infrared sensors onto them too.
Dude, how do you do that?
So that helps out. Just on the connection on the top, you just pop them in. I also remember those lights that I got. Those
Oh, it's like
lights?
a special GoPro though. Like that's a bit modified to hit night vision. Yeah.
Oh, dude, where'd you buy them at?
Online. I mean, the GoPros I actually got on like from Best Buy, and I got from the actual website. But the modifications, like doing like research and stuff online, like you just buy different things to attach to the GoPros, and it kind of like evens out the light source so you can see better at night.
And then you just run like an infrared light.
Yeah. But I got
try that, dude.
Dude, I got like
I prefer
9 cases of equipment plus this big ass one too.
Like shooting, like it's always. I mean, even like the main shows and everybody shoots with a white light.
Yeah,
like
everybody's. That's why I asked if you've seen the new episodes of Ghost Adventure, because they're not like shooting in night vision anymore. They're like
run a night vision camera like off to the side just to give it that look. You know, like if you want to switch, you can switch and like bam, it's night vision. But yeah. And then
I think even with like when we have
we got like the gimbal and stuff like that, and it makes it like really smooth and
I think the only ones we actually use night vision on now is just like the stationary cameras we set up like down a hallway or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll run those with night vision, but when we're walking around doing investigations, we either use a white light or a red light, just depending on the area.
Heck yeah.
And it picks up really good, you know. So it's not too bad. And then Austin, you got those boom mics.
Oh, the mics that you clip on,
Yeah, which dude, those are freaking awesome.
Yeah, I could definitely tell the difference with our last YouTube video, like just like hearing everybody talk and everything. Like you can hear it
Yeah.
clear, and it sounds like you're right there.
And I thought it was gonna pick up too much like static and us like moving around and stuff or like rubbing up against it with our clothes. And dude, they worked out perfect.
Yeah, lavalier mics are really nice to. I have one as well that to use. I use my Zoom H6 for most of my recording,
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, those are nice. Yeah, you have one of those,
Yeah.
right?
and I usually like run the lapel mic off of that, or I have like this microphone and some other
Yeah.
microphones. But I'm not really like there's a Spirit Box app on my phone that I caught some Spirit Box sessions with, man, and I'm not really big into all the crazy like
Teddy's
thermal
big into
and
the you like the app one too. I'm
There's
against it.
there's only two that I like that I just found another one that I like a lot. And I mean like of course you have to run it on airplane mode like your phone and stuff so that way you don't pick up like interference or BS stuff. But
right.
like I still kind of have my reservations about apps like that, but it's
To
weird
me,
because like when you're doing the investigation and you ask questions, like I don't know if it's the programming or the algorithm that they use that picks up on conversations and just blurts out stuff that's related to what you're asking,
yeah,
or if it's actually a spirit trying to talk to you. Like that's where I'm conflicted, you know.
right.
But I mean, it's just you don't know, man. Like I mean, it could be the same thing about an S box session too.
That's why I'm like I like to have a camera there, obviously, to give people kind of a feel of what the place looks like. But other than that, like EVPs and S box sections are to me are like the two best ways to get evidence, man. Because
Yeah.
like that freaking LiDAR thing they're using, like that thing I think's junk. They're like, oh my god, it's mapping on the wall. It's because there's like 6 different points. Like you're in a cave, dude, and it's got all kinds of different
Jagged
like
edges.
jagged edges and shit. Like
Yeah, I don't.
in this,
I'm not a really big fan of the SLS too much.
yeah,
You were a big fan at
Because
first.
of that. Yeah, but and then another thing is because it's just so damn heavy, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like it sucks. I
So
hate
it's the
carrying it
pain to
around.
lug around.
Yeah.
And like, dude, like some of this equipment's like super expensive, and then it's hard to justify getting it. And it's like, dude, people have been hunting ghosts for a
Dude,
long
I
time,
mean, like
man.
you got that one 360 camera that was supposed to be fucking high tech, and then they stopped issuing the software out for it.
Oh
Like,
no, dude, I was so pissed.
Oh, what's
Like
that?
I have a 360 camera, like high definition camera,
Yeah,
and I bought. Dude, this thing was it was up there on price, and I guess like I got it like right after they stopped issuing the software updates and stuff. So now it's obsolete. It doesn't serve a purpose because you can't use it. Like I'm
right.
pretty sure I could figure it out to where like I can do like third party stuff, but like it's I was just like, come on, dude. Like why are you still selling this shit? Like if it's like you can't use it.
Right.
So it's just I've never I think I used it one time and then like right after that they discontinued the software. So like it's just sitting there in my closet.
And that, dude, that's what scares me about like Skinwalker Ranch, man. Like I said, I'd like to go out there. I would go out there. I'd run an investigation, but like so much equipment breaks, man. Like I don't even know what I'd want to take out there
yeah.
because all the anomalies and
Yeah.
Dude, it's
everything that's going
crazy.
on out there.
No matter how much you prepare, no matter how much you prepare for like investigations, like dude, like you get there and everything freaking malfunctions.
Yeah,
Something always goes wrong
yeah,
with some equipment on an investigation. All the
dude.
damn time. It's a pain in the ass, man. Like even with the GoPros at the Hill House, like they all started overheating, and I was like, why? Like
Really?
what's going on, man? Like they were like
Yeah.
super hot. Like I'm surprised they didn't just completely melt down. That's how hot they were, and I was just like, you gotta be kidding me, dude.
Yeah,
And then camcorders were just shutting off but whenever they wanted to. A lot of the footage that we had got corrupted for no reason, you
yeah.
know, like brand new SD cards, and they're formatted. And I was just like, come on, dude. Like, why? Like, why are you doing this to me?
So what's your guys' is like real verdict on Skinwalkers and the Skinwalker Ranch?
It's entirely
I would say I'm kind of like 50-50 on it. Just because I've seen stuff like that that's unexplainable, and like you hear stories about other people's interactions with things like that, but it's just hard to tell, man. Like there's so much we don't understand still about our own world, whether
Right.
it's like geomagnetic fields or like look, I mean, you can take the ocean for example. Like
yeah.
we don't study it. We know more about space than we know about our own oceans.
Yeah.
We don't know a lot of things, and a lot of things, if we can't explain it, it doesn't exist. You know, like it's hearsay. You know,
Right. And that's like, dude, the whole ocean thing you just said, that's when people try to argue with me, they're like, oh, there's nothing out in
Barely
space.
scratched
And
the
it's like,
fucking surface.
bro, more people have been to space than have seen the Titanic in person. Don't tell me
Yeah.
that we don't know what's out there. There's nothing out there, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's just it's up to the person that wants to choose to believe in stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
obviously there's a lot of people that don't believe in anything like that. There's a lot of people that are skeptical about certain things. There's a lot of people that have open minds, you know, about this type of stuff too. So I think it just falls into what you believe in and what you choose to accept.
dude, could
Yeah.
you imagine like if Skinwalker Ranch was the key to unlocking like the truth behind the UFOs and cryptids and the information that could come out, like what would happen to people's heads? Like people would have to go apologize to Tom Cruise, dude. Like he was right the whole time, dude. Him and John Travolta over here.
Oh man.
Fucking
So,
xenon and shit.
Yeah,
Dude, that shit's wild. Like that, yeah. That organization is.
yeah. Then again, like I
But
can
hey.
criticize them. They believe aliens came and dropped a seed in a volcano or whatever the fuck it is, and it's like,
Who are we to say again?
Who am I to make a comment on it, dude? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
do they
I know,
abuse
dude.
women? Yeah. Are they wrong about aliens? I don't know. So,
Ron Hubbard he was a pretty out there guy.
dude, his connection, and that's like why, like every time I post anything, I always tag UAPs, cryptids, ghosts, and occult. And people are like, why do you tag occult? And it's like, because you talk about fucking Scientology, like that dude was hooked up with Aleister Crowley, dude. Like,
Yeah,
like he's like
Yeah.
in line with him, fucking in his organizations, and it's like, dude, it's all like you believe in one, they usually have behind the shadow somewhere somebody's operating in another place too.
yeah. I mean, like you said, like that leads into like a whole other topic of the occult too, like with like Hollywood and like
the drinking the baby blood, dude.
Yeah, like all that stuff, man.
I'll have to get into that in another episode.
Like it's wild, dude.
Dude, I like your Supernatural Quest Seeker shirt, dude. I'm wearing my Here With Us shirt.
I know Teddy copied me
Representing,
for
dude.
his too.
Oh man, all black. Dude, this is a Supernatural Quest Here With Us, man.
I was gonna wear my hat too, but I gotta wash it. It's dirty, man.
Yeah, I'm just wearing the old Tampa Bay Ray hat, but yeah, dude.
Switched up.
Yeah.
I was gonna put some stuff in the back, like ghost equipment and stuff. Like that was originally like what I was gonna do, like with the podcast, but
what are you talking about? There's all that ghost shit back there. What is that? All Patriots shit? the ghost of Tom Brady passed, dude. That's all right. I live in Tampa, dude. I have a ghost of Tom Brady too.
Yeah, man, I need another shelf for that. I'll get another shelf though, just for that stuff.
Hey, thank you guys again for coming on, and check them out. I'll have links to their channel right here. And Austin, Teddy, thank you again for joining us.
Oh yeah.
Peace out, guys.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure.